Listen, 100K is in the future. So if you could do a girl a favor, be part of the future 100K of this channel. Thanks so much. My toxic trait is that I think I can bake and cook anything perfectly the first time I make it. I would consider myself pretty good at cooking. I know my way around the kitchen. Baking, on the other hand, so-so. But today I'm here to prove a point. I Googled one of the hardest things to bake, but apparently one of the more difficult things to bake are macarons. So today I am putting my pride and ego on the line and I'm going to attempt to make macarons for the first time ever, and I'm gonna see if I can do it perfectly because I'm insane. Let's make some macarons. Over the last few days, I've been taking diligent notes. I have looked at blogs and recipes and recipe videos and YouTube videos and TikToks because I want to make these the right way. I have my diligent step-by-step instructions here. I'm feeling pretty confident about this, but sometimes I get a little too cocky and my confidence very much turns into disappointment. Basically, one of the biggest takeaways of this recipe is about mixing. You want to make sure you're not over mixing or under mixing. It has to be a very specific, perfect consistency. Starting with 2 cups of powdered sugar, but not just any powdered sugar that needs to be sifted. I don't have a sifter, so I'm gonna use this little guy and we're gonna hit it with one of these. It took me 20 something years of my life to realize that powdered sugar is literally just regular granulated sugar that went through like a food processor. Yeah, if you didn't know that, you could put regular granulated sugar in a blender or a food processor and it turns to a powder. If you think I'm lying, try it for yourself. When my mom used to make French toast for my brother and I as a kid, this is how we would sprinkle on a little bit of powdered sugar. She would get the sifter out. Oh shoot, I'm spilling it. We would get this little, like, what is this called? A strainer? No. We would get out this, what is this called? A strainer? A mesh strainer? A mesh something? She would get this out, my mom, and she would sprinkle powdered sugar just a little bit over our French toast. My 2 cups of powdered sugar sifted are in the bowl. Next, I'm adding in 1 cup of almond flour. This is already super fine almond flour, but best believe I'm going to sift it again because we are making perfect macarons. We're just manifesting the perfection in this video. Also off camera, I found a much easier way to sift the powdered sugar. Instead of tapping it, I can just take my spoon and go like this. Much easier than just banging it with my hand. Now that I have all of my dry sifted ingredients, a quick whisk together of the two. My other toxic trait when it comes to cooking is I could always grab a bigger bowl, and I always underestimate the size of a bowl that I need. I have made a lot of cooking videos on my channel. In fact, my very first video was a keto muffin cooking video. I really thought I was going to be a keto cooking channel. Moment of silence for that. You can watch my early cooking videos. You would think I would have grown and been less stubborn, but no. The one thing about baking that is so strange to me is how egg whites can turn into something like meringue. Like, that's hard for me to fathom. I'm extremely focused right now, trying not to get any shell or any yolk into the mix. My first order of business with the egg whites is to beat them until they are foamy. I'm not gonna get ahead of myself. We're not ready for peaks yet. We're just gonna get them white and foamy. We're gonna call this white and foamy. Now I'm adding in gradually 1/3 cup of white sugar. When my best friend Logan and I moved in together, this is actually her little handheld mixer. I have never owned like my own mixer or anything, but this whole time we've been living together, I've been really wanting one of those like standing KitchenAid mixers. If you have one, let me know if it's worth the investment. I don't bake all that often, so I don't wanna spend a ton of money on something I'm probably not gonna use all the time, but I just think they look amazing, and I feel like things like this would be a lot easier than having to like put things down. I could just keep the mixer going, but I don't know if it's worth the investment because it's kind of expensive. Not kind of, it is expensive. Egg whites check, sugar check. Now to add in some gel food coloring to make them nice and pretty. I bought this little pack of gel food coloring from Target. I'm kind of feeling purple, but I'm just gonna do a little bit because I don't want them to be like neon. I just want them to be like a nice little bit of purple. Add the food coloring and then stop mixing when I get stiff peaks. I'm getting nervous because it's turning just liquidy. They're not turning into peaks at all. It's just liquid right now. Okay, I'm gonna keep mixing off camera and see if we get some peaks. I don't know about you, but those look like some pretty stiff peaks to me. This looks gorgeous. It is like the prettiest shade of like a pastel purple. I'm very excited. Moving right along. The most important part of this entire thing is the combination process. So combining the dry with this and not screwing it up. This is a very interesting consistency. The purple like egg yolk sugar part is so light and fluffy. It's very interesting. You know what? You know what's funny about this whole thing is I don't even really like macarons that much. I mean, they're okay, but I don't think they're anything like insanely special. Now, maybe if I was like in France having like a real macaron, eating one while looking at the Eiffel Tower, drinking like a cup of coffee, like maybe, but macarons have never impressed me. On to the final steps of the mixing process. Please don't let me mess this part up. I'm getting nervous. This does not look like the consistency that was in all the videos I watched. Okay, I think I'm gonna stop mixing it because I think this is the consistency we're looking for. And I think if I keep mixing it, like I'm just gonna mess it up if I haven't already, which I'm a little nervous about. So I'm just gonna get on to piping them. Now, I told you guys I did a ton of research for the macarons and I was very set in my ways and I did everything I could to make sure this was perfect. The one thing I thought I did that I didn't do was get an actual piping thing. So all I have is a Ziploc bag and I'm gonna cut the corner out. I thought I had a thing of piping, like a piping set, but I don't. So we are gonna make this work. The macarons have like a very specific piping process. Like you do a little like you kind of whip it around. Let's hope I can do that because I don't have the correct piping equipment here. I'm literally gonna cut off the tiniest little corner because I'd rather put too little and then not enough. I feel like this is going pretty well. Like I'm trying to make them as round and flat as possible. It's kind of hard. Okay. I don't know, you guys. It doesn't really look that bad. Wait, they actually look kind of good. I whispered it because I don't want to jinx it. You want to smack the tray down, apparently, to get out any extra like air bubbles or anything. I only have one silicone mat, so I'm going to get parchment paper, do this again. These are going to sit out for 30 minutes. So I'm going to pipe the next round of them off camera, let these sit, charge my camera battery, and I'll see you in about a half an hour. Okay, update on the macarons. They have been sitting for about 30 minutes out here, and they have the right consistency, I guess. You're supposed to tap it and it's like not very sticky. It's just like a little bit tacky, I guess, on top. So now I'm going to bake these at 300 degrees Fahrenheit for 15 minutes. So I'll see you guys soon. Yes, I have a cat oven mitt, okay? Oh my gosh, 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 oh my gosh. They look amazing. Holy crap. Let me switch these somewhere and put these in the oven. Okay, give me one sec. I don't want to toot my own horn, but toot. This is amazing. The fact that I have never made macarons ever, They are allegedly a very complicated thing to bake, and I'm pretty sure I nailed it. Toot, toot. They look pretty damn good. I mean, they are almost perfect. We have a couple of them that are misshapen. This one for some reason broke, but other than that, like I said, a few of them are out of shape, but for just like this one, are you kidding me? This is a perfect circle, this one. And this is what I've been working on ever since these guys came out of the oven, and they've been just cooling for a while. I made a buttercream frosting. I actually did not use the food coloring. I actually ended up making a blueberry preserve because I'm being a little bit extra right now and I have the time. So I ended up making like a blueberry syrup. I basically cooked, like boiled, I guess, blueberries and sugar and made it into a paste, and then strained out like the actual blueberry like skin. And then I separated it and made juice, and I added the juice to the buttercream frosting. So the buttercream frosting is just butter and powdered sugar, and I mixed that. And the color, again, is not food coloring. It's actually the blueberry juice that I made. And then this is just like the leftover blueberry like preserve jelly kind of thing. And I didn't make a ton of it, but my goal is to obviously put the buttercream inside the little cookies here. And then for a couple of them, I'm gonna puncture out the center and add in the little jam jelly concoction I made here. I'm gonna use my little espresso spoons to add in a little bit of the jam, just to some of them, again, because I don't have enough. But let's go ahead and get the buttercream frosting together. And I also really like the flavor of this buttercream because I was able to make that blueberry preserve, basically, or whatever you want to call it. Again, it's the sugar, the blueberries, but I also added a little bit of lemon juice just to give it a little bit of zest. Somebody put me on a cooking show on the Food Network or something. I mean, put me on Chopped right now, right now. Just kidding, I would crack under pressure, don't do that. I'm just gonna gently poke a little center in to make like the filling. We're gonna add that little blueberry filling part. We have to be very gentle. We don't wanna crack the outside. Gotta maintain the presentation, you know? Moving on to the last and final step is just the filling of the macarons. Again, ye old trusty Ziploc bag here to give me the center filling. Let's see how this goes. Looks pretty amazing if you ask me. I'm just gonna go ahead and put one together really quick. Let's try to get it. That's the only problem, is they're not all the same size. Okay, this is like the moment of truth right here. Look at this. Y'all, I did it. I did it. Look at this macaron. Look at her. You know, at this point, I don't even care what they taste like because they look incredible. Look at this. Look at them. I mean, let's just get to the most important part of these cooking videos. The taste test. I still cannot believe how perfect these turned out presentation-wise. I have yet to taste one, but presentation-wise, they look incredible. Tell me that you wouldn't pay like good money for this at a bakery. That is a gorgeous macaron if I've ever seen one. Cheers to making a very complicated baked item that I'm pretty sure I crashed. Oh my God. What can I say? I know my way around the kitchen. While I'm super cocky sometimes in the kitchen and I like to challenge myself, I can also be my biggest critic. But I have to say, these are a 10 out of 10. I nailed it, first try. I don't think I made any mistakes other than the few that cracked. If there's anything else more complex than a macaron to try baking or cooking, leave it in the comments below. I would love to try it out because clearly I'm up for a challenge and I just might succeed. As always, thank you guys so much for watching and I'll see you in the next video. I so wish you could have one of these right now.